Good morning from us and our updated lighting. If you watch our videos, we have new lights. Thanks for bearing with our hideous lighting for the past 8 episodes, but we have upgraded and we are ready to roll.
We're really exposing our truths today.
I mean, we could cut that out, but I'm excited about it.
We did our first official shoot with guests in a podcast studio. And afterwards, we had a little bit of a reckoning being like, we are not doing ourselves any favors with the DIY lighting.
The DIY was like...
It was
fine, but it was time for us to upgrade. So we've
upgraded.
And now you can actually see our faces. And we don't look like we're living in the forest.
We had shadows under our eyes. Anyway.
Whatever. It's fine. That's not what's important here.
Yeah. What we're saying is important.
We think.
Well,
it's important to us. We hope it's important to you. Anyways, let's get rolling.
Hope you guys are doing well. What are you up to?
What am I not up to? That's how I feel these days. Just balancing everything with 2 kids and the family dynamics. And now we have this podcast, which feels like a full-time job, which I absolutely love. I'm having so much fun. And then having time for myself, exercising, seeing friends. I just feel like I'm literally doing it all, but I'm good. I feel like 2 kids is just logistically harder, but not actually more work.
Yeah, it's so funny how intensely people argue about that.
Oh, the 0 to 1 versus 1 to 2 transition?
It is crazy.
It is crazy.
Everyone thinks they're right and everyone has to win. Every day, I swear to God, I open my phone and there's a new video about it. And I'm like, can we calm down?
Like, who cares? It's different for everybody.
It's different types of hard.
Yeah. That's so true in motherhood. People will be like, oh, this is the hardest age. It's hard and fun in different ways at every age, at every stage. There's super hard things about going 0 to 1. For me, that transition was harder. 1 to 2, so much easier for me, but there's still hard parts. But I'm already a mom. Yeah. I'm already used to not having time for myself and having to juggle all of these different things. So it's not as shocking. It's not like twice as much work. It's like 1.5 as much work.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that. What's going on with you?
So as everyone knows, I'm trying to conceive right now, TTC. And it's so funny. My mom once responded to one of our stories being like, what's TTC? And I told her what it was. And she was like, I think you really have to define it for people. People don't know what that is. I was like, Mom, everyone knows what TTC is if you're TTC.
Totally.
You know?
If you're in it, you know.
And if you don't know, then it's probably, it doesn't matter because you're just not in that stage.
Totally.
And so just keep scrolling. Anyway,
100%. She's TTC.
And my husband and I love to go camping with our son, and we went to Tahoe, and of course I take a look at my chart for when I'm going to be ovulating, and the exact days that I need to be having sex, I'm going to be in a tent off the grid. 0% chance I'm going to be peeing in the woods in a cup and using LH strips. There's no chance. So I had to be like, okay, I'm gonna just have sex every other day. Like I knew I needed to.
Can we also add that you're going to be in a tent with your husband and 2-year-old?
Okay, yeah. So not only do I not want to pee in a cup in the woods where there's active bears, but I also don't want to be having sex while I haven't showered in 3 days and my 2-year-old is right next to me on the same mattress. So all things were against us. We had to strategically have sex right before we left the house. And then right when we walked back in the door. Anyway, when I say bears were active, they were sniffing at our campsite. They were all over the place. And I was thinking in my head, this is not a good sex environment. This isn't a good time for TTC. We're just going to have to pray that the sperm did it 2 days ago and that was it. And it worked.
Oh my God. Taylor is like the outdoorsy one between the 2 of us. And I cannot imagine, first of all, camping. And then second of all, being like, okay, so there's bears, but am I ovulating?
Yeah. No, literally, I was like, oh, there's a bear by my head, but what's my LH level? What's really important here?
Nope. Nope.
My husband's banging pots and pans. I'm like, don't want to have sex with you right now.
Also, like, let's keep my 2-year-old away from the bears and worry about ovulation another day.
Just, when you really want it.
I know. It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
When you're like, okay, it's been a few months.
Yeah.
I'm done doing this.
I'm done.
But I'm so proud of you. I know a lot of people who it takes a few months and then they're like, actually, you can't go on that trip anymore. We have to plan around. This is the priority. And I'm proud of you for just living your life still, because I know you can get really, not you specifically, but people can get really in their heads about it. And I just think that adds to the stress.
Yeah. My husband and I always talk about how we never wanted to put our life on hold for kids. And the same goes for trying to conceive. Obviously, when you've spent 6 months, a year, a really long time, obviously that's a different story. But I feel like we've done a good job about making sure we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it was really cute seeing how mind blown he was seeing the bears. And
there was a picture of Kelly, Taylor's 2-year-old, going like this. And then there was a legit bear 30 feet behind him. And I was like,
this was in Tahoe. They were trash bears. I'm not endangering my child. We were
of course not.
A ranger was present. This wasn't a grizzly. We were a decent amount away. I wasn't like feeding him to the wolves while I tested my LH strips. Let's just be clear. I got to get that out of the way here. I'm like sweating. I'm like,
no, like the bear was like up on a mountain.
Yeah.
Like behind them.
Bear's like about to eat.
Don't call CPS.
And he's like, don't call CPS.
But just you could see the bear in the background up on the mountain. They're like down at the campsite. And Kelly's like pretending to be a bear is dying.
Oh my gosh.
So cute. Also, the bears were really cute because they were like, I don't know.
Yeah, they were little too.
I don't know what trash bears are, but like what's a sun? Is it a sun bear?
Okay, a trash bear. What I mean is Tahoe bears are searching for trash. So that's why they approach humans. They don't approach you to hurt you. Yeah. They're just looking for your trash.
But what kind of bears are they?
They're black bears, but they look brown. Yeah. It's very confusing to some people. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That is confusing. Yeah.
Anyways, enough about bears.
Anyways. Today we're going to be talking about postpartum.
Yes.
We're going to do a little deep dive.
The 4th trimester.
Yes. I want to start just by explaining what realistically the first week looks like. What is it?
I want to start by saying the reason that it's called the 4th trimester is because your baby is essentially still attached to you 100% of the time. So even though they're on the outside world, you're nursing them, they're sleeping on you, like they are still very much attached to you. So don't expect that just because the baby is out that all of a sudden they're going to be totally happy sleeping on their own and not being held. It's the 4th trimester of pregnancy. Basically.
The reason too the term came to be because it's actually an American term, which is interesting. I was looking up postpartum customs for this episode, and then I followed up by searching what are American postpartum customs, and it was like 6-week doctor appointment and the labeling of the 4th trimester. I was like, whoo!
Yeah, I mean,
that is surprising. Some bleak customs there.
Not surprising.
So the reason the term came to be is because women in America are so focused on the bounce back. A lot of women have to go immediately back to work. A lot of women want to get out and walk immediately, get back to their normal life. And it does us a lot of disservice. And the 4th trimester is about slowing down, connecting with yourself and your baby and taking time for yourself to adapt back into normal life, because it does take that it takes
I was gonna say I'm 10 months postpartum. My life isn't normal yet, normal, whatever that means.
I still tell my husband I'm postpartum.
I mean, you are, isn't it like 7 years or something after your youngest baby that you're
postpartum's forever for me. My son's almost 2 and I still am like, well, I'm still postpartum. He's like, give me a break, give me a little. He's like, because I'm using it to, get out of things.
As an excuse, but what kind of things are you using it for? I want to hear the tea.
For example, I'm trying to think of a good one that happens a lot.
One that I do is he'll be like, wow, what's up with the like rage? And I'm like, I'm postpartum. I'm having like a hormone situation.
Yeah. No, mine is usually like, can you deal with bedtime? Cause you know, I'm still postpartum. Like I went through all of this and like, I think, I don't think it's ever going to be.
You haven't lived up to your part of the bargain yet.
That's what I mean.
The effort put in has not leveled out.
And I'm
yet.
not saying you personally should look at your marriage like you did this, I did this. Yeah. In fact, you probably shouldn't.
Obviously not therapists and marriage counselors.
Well, I don't win. He calls me out on it. I don't win, but I still, it comes up in my vocabulary. I can't help myself.
Yeah. You're like, look at what I've done and look at what you do.
I will say too, I breastfed my son until he was 20 months and I didn't even begin to feel like I was reclaiming my life and my body back until 2-3 months after that, because hormonally I went through a lot weaning.
Wait, do you feel normal now? Isn't that just like now?
Yeah.
Isn't he like 23 months?
I feel well, yeah, his birthday's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's what I mean.
You're like, today is the first day that I feel normal.
Well, that's why I'm trying to conceive now, because I feel normal. Yeah. And before I didn't feel ready.
You're like, let's fuck it all up. I'm feeling good.
I know.
That's what happens. I feel like it's right around 18 months when you're like, I'm feeling pretty good. My kid sleeps better. And
you had a traumatic birth.
Yeah. My body feels like myself again. I fit into my clothes maybe.
Let's have sex.
My hormones are normal. I'm ovulating again. And then you're like, sure, we could throw another baby into the mix right away.
I think we're biologically meant to forget.
I remember feeling that way the first time around. Right around 18 months, I was like, okay. Like, I'm not in the trenches anymore. Yeah. Let's do it again.
Yeah. So back to the trenches of postpartum. Yeah. So what do you feel like your postpartum experience was like? So we have two really different postpartum experiences. Because when you're talking about like immediate postpartum, I went home an hour after birth and I was immediately in my home environment. And I want to hear about what it's like when does postpartum start, right? It starts right at birth.
Yeah, for me, so I had 2 hospital births. The first time around, I was like, I do not want to leave the hospital. Like the nurses are helping you. The lactation consultants are coming to check on you. My mom was there. My husband was there. I just felt like I'm in a controlled space. Yeah. Everyone is helping me. People are bringing me food. I don't want to leave because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And also I can't walk. Oh like, and there's a lot of factors at play here, but the first time when I was induced and I had the epidural, after the epidural wore off, I was in so much pain because I felt nothing during my labor and delivery. I was in so much pain after that. I was like in shock at how painful it was. And then the second time I was in so much pain because I did not have an epidural. I was in so much pain during labor and delivery that after the baby came out, I was like, this is nothing. Yeah. Also, like I had a baby before. And so, there's so many factors there that could have affected that experience. The epidural, no epidural. My son was sunny side up and my daughter flew out like a bat out of hell. But the second time I was like, get me the hell out of here. I want to go home. I want to see my first kid. I don't need all of these people. You need support. But I was like, enough with the bright lights, enough with the checks. Get me out. I had to stay for 24 hours. But as soon as 24 hours hit, I was like, I'm out of here, you guys. Yeah. But yours going home after 1 hour.
Yeah. So they made sure.
Was that by choice?
Well, there was just no reason to stay because they.
Could you have stayed though?
No. Not an overnight stay situation. Yeah. Birth centers don't operate like that. Okay. If you need an overnight stay somewhere, it's usually because an emergency happened. You have to go to the hospital. Okay. And the reason why you are released so early from birth centers is because the care continues. Right. So at hospitals, it's understandable they have to keep you because you literally aren't seen again until 6 weeks. You're sent off to the wolves and no one's checking on you. Mm-hmm. Obviously, birth happened. They check on me, make sure everything's fine. I didn't need stitches luckily. So it was a pretty standard immediate postpartum. And they have IBCLCs there who were helping me with breastfeeding. And then once everything was good, both of our vitals were good, they're like, you can feel free to stay a few hours if you want or go home. I was like, I want to go to my bed. They called me that night to make sure I was okay. And then the next day they came over to my house to take both of our vitals again, do weight checks, do the newborn heel prick, do all of those things at home from my couch, watched me breastfeed, helped me with that. And then they come again 48 hours. And then they came again at 2 weeks. And then from then on, the appointments were at the birth center, luckily 5 minutes from my house. But they saw me up to 3 months.
Amazing.
And looking back, I think chose midwifery care not only because of the birth is such a short amount of what I feel like I got from midwifery care, because it was all of the like 2 to 3 hour prenatal appointments beforehand and all the just getting to know me as a person and caring so much, and then postpartum for 3 months. So I feel like that's what I really got out of it and what I paid for.
I think that's something that's really cool that's happening in San Diego is that midwifery care is being offered as co-care. When you see an OB, you have a hospital birth, and then they're offering postpartum care, either with a midwife or a doula. And a lot of times it is out of pocket, but there's a shift happening where people are realizing that they want more postpartum care and support, because once the baby's born, the OB's job is basically done. Your baby's delivered and we'll see you at your checkup. And my OB is amazing. She did a 6-week checkup, and then she was like, a patient should be seen again around 4 months because that's when your hormones drop, and I'd like to see you again then. So that's amazing. But to have somebody coming to you in the early days, in addition to those physical and mental health checks in office, having someone come to your house and check on you and the baby versus having to go to the pediatrician at day 3, at day 7, at 2 weeks, I mean, that is life-changing. Like, there's no arguing that.
I think it is so criminal that women are told to heal, stay in your bed, don't walk. You're going to hurt the healing. You're going to hurt the stitches, but you have to come into the pediatrician office. I am sorry. Can we just figure it out so that women don't have to be in diapers bleeding down their legs? I mean, sure, for outlandish situations where something goes really wrong, but can we bring it back to the old days where pediatricians and doctors would come to the home?
I mean,
how did it get so just for normal checkups, nothing emergency?
Normal checkups. Why am I driving 30 minutes with my screaming 3-day-old bleeding out of my adult diaper to the pediatrician's office? It's just so wrong.
It's archaic.
It's
crazy.
And it's so not pro mother. It is so pro everyone else. Like, whatever's easy for the doctor.
Because our society only cares about the baby's health after the baby's born.
Yeah.
People don't give a flying about mothers.
Postpartum peasant. I'll say it 100 times. And this is something that I will die on this hill, because no one will fight me on this. No one will say like, oh, actually, my postpartum care was better than I could have ever expected.
Except for maybe me.
Yeah, but even you are like, there could be more.
Yes, there could be more. And
you had an incredible experience. And you had
I did.
You had to pay out of pocket. You had an alternative.
Yes.
Like, that's not something that's offered to the majority of women.
Although I will say that is changing. And I will say if you have Medicare or if you have a health share, stuff like that, they actually do pay for midwifery care. So I think that insurance companies are starting to, but insurance, they just, they fought me on everything. It was taking me months. I was like, I'm bleeding. I'm figuring out breastfeeding. I'm not going to like fight this insurance company about reclaiming money.
Something that I wanted to talk about, though, with hospital births actually is baby-friendly hospitals. And I hate that term because it makes me think like hospitals that don't have baby-friendly designation are like unfriendly to babies. Which is
baby hater.
Yeah, like that's what it feels like. But what I want to talk about is that I gave birth at a normal hospital that did not have baby friendly designation the first time. And then just by chance, because I switched OBs, I gave birth at a baby friendly hospital the second time. I'll just tell you the things that I liked and didn't like about it. What I liked about baby friendly was that they keep the baby in the room with you no matter what. They do every single check in the room. They don't take the baby to a nursery. They don't take the baby away to do heel pricks or any tests that they have to do. Everyone comes to you. And then the other thing that I like is that the designation has a lot to do with breastfeeding and breastfeeding support. So every nurse, everyone that is there to support you postpartum has breastfeeding training, at least to a small degree. So anyone you ask can help you. And there's IBCLCs, LCs, nurses with breastfeeding training, everything. So that is great. They're not allowed to have formula companies market in their hospitals, and they're not allowed to offer formula unless it is medically necessary. So all of those things are pro breastfeeding and breastfeeding support.
I saw something that was talking about how I think it has to be situational. I heard people talking about this and it was in a negative light because it was women who were like, I had a cesarean and I was really out of it, like drugged up and not doing well. And they wouldn't take the baby away to a nursery for a few hours so I could rest or something. And I don't know. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions, but thinking about why these baby-friendly hospitals were created and why the guidelines were created is because if you think about the way that things were done up until that, it's terrifying if you know the histories. Women were on twilight sleep, didn't know what was going on. Babies were taken away. Formula was immediately given. All these things were happening to the newborns. The mom had no idea. The intent is so good because we're trying to get back to the place we once were at, which is mothers decide.
The pendulum swings.
The pendulum swing.
And people are saying baby friendly is about they don't want to staff a nursery and they don't want to pay for nurses to be working in the nursery and blah, blah. And it's like, maybe that's true. I don't know. But also, the baby probably shouldn't be taken from you.
I know.
Maybe we need more nurses, staff that can stay in your room to support you and baby. I still think that the baby should be in your room.
I agree.
I don't think that they should be taken away.
I agree.
I'm not saying that you just giving birth should have to have no help. I'm saying you should have more support in your room.
And I also think that, you know, some people go into birth knowing that they don't want to breastfeed. And that's a different conversation. You can always bring your own formula. You probably want to anyway because you care about a certain type or
who knows what they have there. Like
who knows? Anyway, so immediate postpartum, how long did you bleed for?
The first time I bled for 7 weeks.
7 weeks?
Yeah. I was still bleeding when I went to my 6 week. Up to 6 weeks is normal. And I was still bleeding at my 6 week appointment. And they were like, yeah, this is on the long side. Like it was like I had a light period still.
Okay, light though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Postpartum bleeding 4 to 6 weeks after childbirth. It can extend up to 8 weeks for certain individuals. Obviously heaviest after birth. I mean, it was crazy right after birth.
Yes, a lot of blood.
I didn't expect that, actually. It's so funny. You read about pregnancy, you read about birth, but you're not reading. And then on the third day, you wear lighter pads. And then you don't read about it.
Well, because it's not fun.
No, and with friendships, too. I mean, we're all very open with each other, but you're not texting someone an update on how heavy your blood is. You know, I just feel like I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, because people don't talk about it because it's just something you're dealing with. It's not something to like look forward to. And people tend to be like, oh, the baby comes and like it's so great. And we're talking about breastfeeding, we're talking about feeding the baby and the baby's weight gain. And
only things that have to do with the baby.
Yeah. And then
not like, how's your pelvic floor? How's your stitches?
I heard more about people's stitches and the recovery with that than I did with no stitches. I've heard about a lot of cesarean recoveries and how my friends are doing with that. But for a vaginal birth with no stitches, I feel like I've never heard about it because people are like, no, you got it. You're good. But I bled for 7 weeks with my first, and I lived in disposable underwear. I had those Freedom Mom pads that are 3 feet long that you crack and are like ice packs. Then I covered them in the Tux brand.
The witch hazel
pads, front to back. And then I sprayed it with Dermaplast for just some numbing. That was my setup all the time. I would say that lasted for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Did you look at your vagina right after birth?
Do you know the answer to this story?
No.
Oh my God, I can't believe I haven't told this before. Oh my God. Okay, so I pushed for an hour and a half-ish. And after the epidural wore off, the postpartum nurse came in and took me to the bathroom and was like, try to go pee. And I looked down at my vagina. It still gives me the chills. I almost passed out. And what I said to her was, I look like I have balls. I was so appalled. No.
I didn't look. I refused.
I just got the chills. Like, I literally looked like I had a ball sack.
I highly recommend
not looking.
Like, just don't, like, stay clear for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Do the pads, do the diapers, just like, don't.
Don't look down. You heard it here first.
Oh, you just don't want to know.
It's so swollen.
The second time?
It's like, I don't know why I'm crying.
But the second time I didn't look.
No.
I refused.
No, some people, like, look with a mirror to, like, track progress. I'm like,
oh,
girl, I'm not going to look down there until, like, I'm cleared.
When they offered me the mirror the first time, because it was, like, taking a while, the pushing, I was like, no, I don't want a mirror.
Ignorance is bliss, lady.
Telling me if it's going well, if I need to do something different, but I don't want to see.
And just trust the process. Know that all the bullshit they feed you about how you'll never be the same again with your vagina was meant for this.
Right.
It all goes back. All the muscles go back. Do some PT. It's all going to be fine. Everything will look the same. I'm so over the people who say breastfeeding ruins your boobs, vaginal births ruin your vagina. I'm like, come on.
Also, but an interesting fact about breastfeeding ruining your boobs. It's actually a myth. It's pregnancy that changes your breasts.
Yeah.
It's not actually breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So whether you're going to breastfeed or not, if you are going to get pregnant, your breasts are going to change.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
And vaginas go back to normal after birth.
Yeah, that's just a whole bunch of bullshit that...
Honestly, it's probably men talking about those things.
Exactly. It usually is.
And anyway, back to the bleeding.
Anyways, so you bled for 2 weeks?
So it was really heavy, I want to say. Obviously, extremely heavy for a few days. Yeah. And then bigger pads for maybe a week.
I recommend,
and then
once the bleeding is like not diaper worthy anymore, big black underwear.
Yeah, that's what I had.
And then just pads.
Yeah.
Without the wings. And just like living in that for a while. And then the next phase is a normal pad. And
yeah. So I think after 2 weeks, I was lighter pads.
Yeah.
And then it was just extremely thin ones and felt, I don't know. It was crazy though for me. I didn't realize how intense the post-birth contractions would be and for how long. My midwives gave me this tincture to take that would help with the pain. Who knows if it helped. But that was shocking to me. I didn't realize it was still going to keep going, and that every time I would sit down and breastfeed, I would get the insane contraction pains.
So I didn't have that at all.
Wow, must
either
be
time.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know people talk about it all the time. Like, oh, it's so painful. I don't remember it either time. Maybe it was happening, and I think I would have known.
Like every time he would latch onto my boob, I was like. My whole uterus would contract.
Wow. Yeah.
Because fun fact, breastfeeding helps shrink your uterus.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, your uterus goes back to its normal size.
Yes.
It takes a long time.
It goes back to the size of your fist.
Right. Crazy.
Literally goes from this all the way up, all the way like this, like a balloon.
Like out here.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't know if mine is back to normal yet. How long does it take? I feel like it takes a year.
And actually, your uterus should shrink back within 8 weeks.
Whatever. I was trying to explain my little pouch that I still have.
No, fun fact about the fupa that everyone talks about.
My primordial pouch.
Sometimes it actually has a lot to do with your pelvic floor and also diastasis recti, because you might even have a very minor bit of it, and that separation causes a fupa.
That makes sense.
Just so interesting.
Yeah.
And so until you get ab work back and your abs close all the way, which takes longer than your uterus.
All right. I'm getting a pass still.
Yeah, you're getting a pass still.
Just started working on my ab strength again, like really thinking about it, because this has happened to me both times. But when my kids have started to get heavy, I start having back pain and like all these things from just carrying them around all the time. And I'm like, okay, I need to focus on my core now.
Yeah.
Like
core
Pilates
after postpartum is actually wild.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I consider myself like kind of fit, at least.
For sure.
And I remember being at yoga for the first time, maybe at 8 weeks postpartum or something, trying to do a plank.
Oh.
It was like a slow flow.
Yeah.
Trying to do a plank and was like, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a chaturanga.
Oh.
I tried to do a plank into a chaturanga and was looking around like, did anyone just see me like eat shit? And my head like hit the, I was like, I don't have, it just feels so loosey-goosey.
I mean, rightly so.
It's crazy.
But you think, that's the other thing that I would warn people, is that like you think the baby comes out and then all of a sudden your stomach is flattish again. No, you look pregnant still for weeks. Months. Like, I feel like in the 9-month mark is when I feel like,
yeah, I hate the whole 6 to 8 week situation. Like I don't, it's so stupid.
So
6 to 8 months, maybe
6 to 8 months.
Okay, this is what I've heard and love.
Okay.
It takes you like 10 full months pretty much to grow a baby. So that's the bare minimum amount you have to give yourself to feel better after postpartum. Bare minimum. Because that's what it took to even grow the baby. And then think of all the postpartum recovery. So it's like,
well, yeah, you have a dinner plate size wound. Your uterus has to shrink back. That wound has to heal. And you're just like, la-di-da, I'm going to go do a plank. Your body is like, excuse me.
Let's start with some cat-cows.
Let's start with some sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Cat-cows are like, after a few weeks.
Yeah. Some light stretching, some... Sorry, my neck is fucked up.
A survey of 2,000 moms showed that 2/3 are still feeling recovery effects up to 3 years after birth, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Nearly 50% said their mental recovery took longer than their physical recovery, and over 60% haven't even felt like their pre-pregnancy selves again.
I don't think that you ever feel 100% your pre-pregnancy self ever again. No.
I love that so many women agree that even up to 3 years postpartum. I remember my midwife saying like, hey, I know this isn't a part of our American culture, but I don't want to see you back here for another 2 years at least.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that insight. And it actually got me researching other cultures and how even traditionally in ancient worlds, like how far apart women would wait to have another baby, and we've really like started to bang really close together, and it's really hard on the body.
Are you kidding me?
And mentally too. Like you see videos of people getting pregnant at 6 months. Obviously things happen, but I just think when you're trying at 6 months, you might be making it really hard on yourself.
Obviously you got to do what you got to do, and like shit happens,
right? Do whatever you want, but
ideally you have at least 2 to 3 years between pregnancies, for the woman's physical body.
Well, postpartum depression, the numbers go up the closer your babies are together.
Well, and it makes sense, because if you have your babies very close together, I'm talking like Irish twins, you have 2 babies, but just like you mentally having no break, having 2 babies, like anything under 2 is still a baby.
For sure.
It's just hard.
So hard. I just feel like it kind of plays into American culture in general. The go, the like so focused on the corporate ladder.
Yeah, like get it over with.
So like
quote unquote get it over with.
Or if understand if you've waited longer to have kids, so you have to go. I just feel like it's like an American society thing.
I also feel like there's this weird like competition, which is so American of us, but like people say you're not going to get an award for having an unmedicated birth. Like you're not going to get an award for having kids really close together on purpose. If you don't have to.
But I hate that saying, just so you know.
Oh, for sure. The kind culture is so competitive.
Everything.
Yeah. It's funny. Okay, so this is so off topic, but like sort of relates. When I was 20 something, I went to Thailand with some friends and we were at this hostel and there was a bar in the hostel and it had a scoreboard of all the different countries of kids who have been visiting, and they were tallying shots from each country, like this disgusting shot that the hostel bar made. And of course, the Americans were like, let's do the most shots. And all the other countries were like, whatever. And it's like, why do we always have to be winning and like doing the most?
Yeah.
It's just our culture.
It is our culture.
It's so interesting.
I was just talking to this woman yesterday who is French and was just chatting about the differences in lifestyle in terms of how hyper-focused America is on money versus enjoying life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the kids' conversation comes into that a lot because it's really hard to enjoy having kids when we're in a society where we're not setting ourselves up to enjoy life. Mm-hmm. We're just working 9 to 6. Everyone's trying to climb the ladder, make more money. And she was like, I was just talking to this woman yesterday who is French and was just chatting about the differences in lifestyle in terms of how hyper-focused America is on money versus enjoying life. She was like, in France, in Paris, all August, no one's around. We all leave the city. We have family time. You can't answer. No one's answering work emails. Everyone's off. She was like, you have at least 6 weeks a year that you're doing things with your kids and you're not online. I was like, that is unheard of. Most families I know are scraping away to try to get 1 week vacation. And when they're logged off, they're not even logged off. No. So like, how do you enjoy life with kids when you're not enjoying your life? Mm-hmm. It just really rocked my world because I was like, as a society, how did we get here?
Capitalism.
Did
you read the book Bringing Up Bebe?
Yeah.
So she, in that book, if you haven't read it before, talks about the differences. She's an American. She married a guy from the UK and then they moved to Paris. And so she talks about the same stuff and how different it is. And just because we do things a certain way in America doesn't mean it's the right way. It doesn't mean it's the wrong way. Just means like there's other ways out there. So educate yourself on all the different ways that people around the world do things, and you have choices, you have options, and get educated and then see what feels right.
Yeah, or like move.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. Okay. So speaking of TTC and postpartum, at what point did you feel like you were ready to do the deed again after you had the baby?
She's thinking about it. Do I even feel ready yet?
I know.
God, I almost feel like if you're breastfeeding, like you biologically. So first of all, if you're breastfeeding, I know that estrogen can drop, right? It can be suppressed, and I know that can thin your vaginal tissues.
Well, and there's no lubrication.
So
I'll tell you right now,
it definitely doesn't make sex fun.
It's drier than the Sahara Desert.
It's dry down there. And I also think emotionally, I was so hyper focused on providing for baby. So I do feel like whether or not you're breastfeeding plays into it, but I breastfed for so long. Also, so I don't know if that.
Also, your cycle typically is suppressed, your menstrual cycle. So typically, if you're not ovulating, you don't have the hormones that make you want to have sex.
I couldn't even think about I got a pelvic floor exam to see like how things were down there. I want to say it's 6 weeks or something. And that made me realize, whoa, I'm not ready yet actually to have sex. And that was already 6 weeks past. So, and I know that's a lot of time people get cleared is around 6 to 8 weeks anyway. So usually doctors say you should wait that long. But I know people who have sex right away. Then I'm like, I don't know about that. After I couldn't even think about it. Like all I could think about was the feeling of
a baby,
his head coming out of there and being like, I don't want anything else up there.
No.
Nothing.
And like I feel like a lot of husbands are like, I don't want to come anywhere near there until we both recover from the trauma of seeing the baby coming out of there.
I feel like I was giving off this energy like, try. I dare you to approach me.
Totally.
I dare you to smack my butt.
I know, right? Talking about bears, like the mama bear comes out and is like...
I don't think he would have even attempted. Connor knew. My husband knew.
Would they even want to? Like after witnessing what we went through, like they don't. Like I feel like a lot of guys are like, I'm gonna give you some time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the least they could do.
Yeah, if you don't feel ready at 6, 8, 10 weeks, it's normal. There was this thing about this that I had to tell you about. You're gonna die.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Okay. The headline says, woman made a ton of men mad with her math lesson on mom's libido. So the equation is hours of sleep plus number of real meals eaten while seated times partner support divided by number of annoying comments he made minus number of times touched by children equals mom's libido.
Spot on. Spot on. Dude, want to get laid? Do the dishes.
He's so true.
Want to get laid? Take something off my plate. Like, I only have so much to give.
Yeah.
And breastfeeding, like I said,
it
suppresses your cycle. Yeah. If you're bottle feeding, then you might get your period back sooner. And your cycle is what makes you want to have sex.
Yeah. It's important to understand and be okay with the fact that your relationship goes through seasons. And that's something I really love to remind myself, because getting into funks and feeling like you prioritize your kids one week and then the next week you prioritize your relationship, that's fine. You can't prioritize everything all at once, all the time. And I really don't like when women online are saying, yeah, God, we just do ourselves such disservices. Like I see women posting like about how you have to still prioritize your relationship, please your man, have sex, like right when you're cleared, like keep things up. No, you don't have to do that. Your relationship can go through seasons and it'll come back.
Everything comes back. Like anything, communication is key.
Yeah.
And you just did a really important thing for your family. So like, you're fine.
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Everyone will survive.
Mm-hmm. If you can't go like 8 weeks instead of 6, like give me a break.
I know.
It's
give
the
me
least
a break.
You could do.
I know.
So all that to say is postpartum is a season. It's temporary. Every day you're going to feel a little bit more like yourself. And every day you're going to get more confident as a mother, more confident as a like family unit. And I just think that it is a hard time, but also a beautiful time.
Yeah, it's hard because, too, you're not really sleeping. I think that's something that we haven't brought up yet.
For sure. You're sleeping. You're just sleeping in chunks instead of one long stretch. So you might have to go to bed earlier. You might have to sleep in later. You might have to take a nap. Like whatever you can do to get those chunks in is what you have to do.
And if you can't nap like me, I had to go to bed at 7.
Yeah.
I just had to because I was getting like 3 hours of sleep a night. And my midwife looked at me and was like, hey, so humans can't operate like this. Yeah. Once it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks and you're only sleeping 3 hours. You need to figure it out.
Well, and that's a really good call out because the first 2 to 4 weeks, you have all this adrenaline.
Yeah.
And when the adrenaline wears off, like things hit the fan and all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is no longer sustainable. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but your baby is not going to sleep anytime soon in long stretches. Some babies don't come for me, but like probably not yours.
Also, if your baby is sleeping long stretches at 2 weeks, at 4 weeks, at 5 weeks, guess what? They might not be at 2 months, at 4 months, at 5 months. So like
100%.
Postpartum is not this.
Yeah.
It's this.
And sleep is not linear. Nothing in motherhood is linear.
No, don't get used to any situation. That is the best advice for postpartum, for breastfeeding, for everything. Just be open to everything.
And that's a good call out too, because the good stuff and the bad stuff, everything passes. The hard stuff will pass and the good stuff will pass, and it'll get hard again.
Yeah.
Just mentally prepare for a lot of change.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to go with the flow, and just know that probably in 2 weeks, things are going to change again. You get your kid sleeping and then there's teething. I got my kid out of the bed and then she's up every 3 hours. I don't know. It's just, there's so many things, and stop trying to figure it out. Just roll with it, because you trying to figure out and be like, okay, like this sleep sack at this temperature and like blah, blah. Yeah, maybe like they're cold and you add an extra layer or whatever, you could experiment, but like you got to just roll with it.
You gotta
don't get too into the weeds. Don't work yourself up and give yourself anxiety or depression. Get out of the house, get sunlight. Like we're just like house plants. Like we need sun, we need fresh air, we need other people around.
Oh yeah. Like when did you first feel comfortable going out of the house? Postpartum.
The first time, like, I don't know, 6 months. I would say like 5 months. I was like,
no, literally.
I was comfortable breastfeeding, like enough to breastfeed in public. I was comfortable enough to go to a restaurant and figure it out. I wasn't ready to leave the baby at all. What else? Fitting into my clothes. You're going to need to buy 3 separate wardrobes if you're in your childbearing years. Your pregnancy clothes, which I would recommend getting a few comfy items your first pregnancy, because you trying to shove yourself into normal clothes sucks. So you might as well just get comfortable, especially if you plan to have more kids, because then you're going to get more wears out of them. The first time was like, I'm just going to squeeze myself into like my normal clothes and make it work. And then I was like, why? That was so uncomfortable, and I'm going to have more kids. So like, what was the point of that? Now at the second time, I just have to buy new stuff. Also, you're going to need your immediate postpartum clothes, which is like for the first, I don't know, at least 6 months, until like I have jeans in 6 different sizes. Highly recommend. You're going to want to have a few things that make you feel good to put on after you have the baby. When I had my second, I was ready to go out after like a week. The second time I bled for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, the thing is, like, the key here is obviously you end up going out of the house sooner than 6 months, but the key word is when you were comfortable going out.
Yeah.
Because like I remember going to a park at 2 weeks feeling extremely uncomfortable, but I did it, and I was still proud I did it. And it just took so many times of practicing and doing it. And
yeah, I mean, I definitely started leaving the house with my first, like maybe around the 6 or 8 week mark, like actually getting out and trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
But like I felt comfortable doing it maybe between 5 and 6 months.
Yeah.
And by 6 months, I was like, get me out of the house. I'm ready to do activities.
Also, can I just say, talking about the clothes situation, it's okay if you never fit your previous clothes again, because like I didn't, and I actually threw away all of my old jeans and I donated them. But I actually don't think I'll ever get back there, and some people don't, and that's totally fine. I've accepted my new body. It's just easier for some people than others, and you just have to give yourself grace. And
something to call out is like sometimes your feet grow in pregnancy and they don't go back. My feet grew during pregnancy and then they went back, but some people's don't go back, and you have to apply that mindset.
My hips are so different.
My rib cage is not the same.
Yeah, I just don't fit any of my old clothes,
and that's just what happens.
Yeah, I've become okay with it. I was hurting myself keeping all of it in my closet, saying I'm gonna get back to it, and it's almost 2 years now and I'm not back to it. And I was like, why am I holding on to this? Like, why do I feel like I have to prove to people that I'm going back to my pre-pregnancy weight? Like, I don't have to be the weight I was 3 years ago when I got married. I can change as long as I love where I'm at. And like, obviously my husband doesn't give a fuck. He loves the extra curves. Totally. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. I think that's the call out, is being comfortable in your clothes. I just have bought a bunch of things in the next size up, and now I'm comfortable. It's a mindset shift. And we've talked about this so much in motherhood. It's just a mindset change. Don't try at 10 months postpartum to fit into your clothes. If you do fit into them, great. More power to you. You know what I mean? I don't fit into my clothes yet, and I don't know if I will, but I have just bought clothes in the next size up so that I can still feel cute.
Just gain weight really differently during pregnancy. I know friends who only gained weight in their stomach where their baby was.
Right.
And like that wasn't the case for me. I gained it everywhere humanly possible. So of course it's going to take me longer to shed it all.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. Also, I hate this myth. Breastfeeding burns so many calories. You're going to lose the weight like that. It's like, nope. It's not. That's not true, actually.
I was starving.
Breastfeeding burns calories, but it also makes you so hungry.
So hungry.
Also, you're probably not sleeping through the night. So that triggers you to want to eat more.
Yeah.
And then also, to make milk, you have to keep a certain body fat percentage. So...
Oh my God, I was chomping on lactation cookies like they were toothpaste.
Yeah.
Ew. Oh.
Try again.
like they were mints.
What?
Like they were candy.
Candy.
I was chomping on lactation cookies like they were candy. I made these lactation cookies for Natasha. They're not the little bite lactation cookies. They're like this big.
They should be called like muffins. They're huge. They're like 600 calories per
pancakes.
Cookie.
Yeah. They're really good though. I'll link the recipe.
So good. Okay, to wrap it up, what would you rather fuck, marry, kill? Pregnancy, birth, postpartum?
Pregnancy.
What? Fuck, marry,
kill.
Kill pregnancy.
Kill immediately, like stab, bury in the ground. Pregnancy.
Okay.
Marry. I think I'd say marry postpartum.
Yeah.
And fuck birth.
I agree, because birth is so quick.
So birth is so quick. It was so miserable, but so quick. Mine was 10 hours.
It has a start and an end. So it's like, there you go.
I always tell people it was the hardest thing I ever did, but it was done in 10 hours.
It's a blip when you think about it.
Pregnancy, like die. I can't even elaborate enough. I mean, for some people, it's like, oh, I just didn't have to drink.
A lot of people will say marry pregnancy.
It was 10 months of misery.
Yeah.
And I can't get that 10 months back.
No.
And the end result was so worth it. It was so worth it. It's the greatest reward after.
Yeah.
But postpartum, it was such a hard time, but I had my reward already.
100%.
It was on my chest and I was so happy. And pregnancy, I was like, where is the reward?
The snuggles, the newborn snuggles make postpartum worth. I'll marry postpartum, even though it's like a lot. I'll marry postpartum every day.
Just to end on a piece of advice, and everyone always says this, but I do feel like I wish I had just tried to sit in the moment more postpartum, and I miss my newborn.
Yeah.
I miss how snuggly and precious and special and what a miracle that moment was postpartum, because it's really hard to drown out the other things and how hard it is for you physically. And I think that just really trying to be present with the snuggles is healing.
For sure.
And it's so healing to recognize that it's such a precious time at the same time as being such a hard time. And you never get those snuggles back.
Oh, there's nothing that makes me more sad to think about than being done with having kids because of those snuggles and those moments. And I think like the first time you go through, it's really hard because there's so much change and you're learning so much. But the second time you're like, oh my God, this is so angelic and peaceful.
It's peaceful.
And part of our culture is just fast, hustle on the go. But once you've been through it one time and you do it a second time, you're like, this is what matters.
But even like me looking back, I've only had one kid, and I can't believe how slow my life was when I had him as a newborn. Like my life has not been that slow ever since.
And it never will be.
It never will
be. You will have a toddler.
Right. But if they're in school or something, you get those slowed down moments with them. And I do think how it's so crazy because it feels like time itself slows so much when you're just sitting on the couch with this little human that's looking at you like that you're their whole world. And it's just so precious and just soak it in and
every day, because they'll never be that little again. And I know that sounds so cliche, but like they'll never be that little again. And you're going to know your kids for your whole life. And most of it, they're going to be big.
Yeah.
And like, that time when they're so little is so short.
It's so short.
Even though it feels so all-encompassing and so exhausting, like it is so temporary.
Yeah.
Even though it's really hard. Try to just take it hour by hour and look at them and just spend time like with them on your chest.
Yeah.
Enjoying the snuggles, because it'll never be like that again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for listening, you guys.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.